Thank you, President Mott. It is my esteemed pleasure to introduce you all to my friend, Dr. Mae Gilliland Wright. She holds a master's degree and a doctor of philosophy in the digital humanities field from the University of Edinburgh, Scotland, with a teaching background in the sciences and humanities. In addition to her role as the executive director of ArtsPartners, she is an affiliate faculty and coordinator at the Peoria History at Bradley University. So today is a teaching day for her. So we're very lucky to have her today. In past roles, she was the executive director of Big Picture Peoria, director of marketing and communications at the Peoria Symphony Orchestra, and as an educator at the Peoria Riverfront Museum. Mae currently serves as the vice chair on the advisory board of the Women's Fund of the Community Foundation of Central Illinois, and sits on the City of Peoria's Public Affairs Advisory Commission. In the past, she has sat on the board of directors of ArtsPartners of Central Illinois, so she's very familiar with the organization of what she now leads. The Acorn Equality Fund, Public Relations Association of Central Illinois, Art Inc., along with various other communities areas, organizations like Align Peoria and the Community Foundation of Central Illinois. Mae received the Peoria Chamber of Commerce 2022 Athena Young Professional Award, which honors emerging leaders between the age of 25 and 40 who strive for the highest levels of personal and professional accomplishment and who excel in their chosen field. Those of you who aren't chamber members, that's one of the highest awards that they give our young professionals in the area, so that's a high accomplishment. She also serves as a role model for young women, and in 2020, she received the 25 Women in Leadership Award from WEK 25 News. She is a member of the Americans for Arts and Women in Leadership of Central Illinois, and in her spare time, which she has little of, she enjoys reading, gardening with her husband, Jonathan, and catching up on podcasts. Please welcome Dr. Mae Gilliland Wright.
Thank you so much for that, Ashley. And another round of applause for the Community Foundation. What is not noted in my bio is that when I was finishing my PhD, I did actually work at CFCI. So, yes.
Best boss ever.
Best boss ever, for sure. Well, thank you so much to all of you who invited me here today, and to Dawn for inviting me, who's not here right now. But I appreciate it. And Ashley, thank you so much for such a kind introduction. So I am excited to speak to you today about the arts in Greater Peoria and the work that we are doing at ArtsPartners. To begin, I thought I would just provide you with a quick overview of our mission. Maybe? Am I pushing the wrong button?
No.
Okay. So we were actually founded in 1999, and we are a tax-exempt nonprofit organization whose mission is to build awareness and strengthen the arts for the economic and cultural enrichment of Central Illinois. There we go. Our vision is to be the one-stop source for arts information in Central Illinois, and to facilitate partnerships and programs that empower and raise awareness for the arts. We work to accomplish our mission by engaging the community with the arts. We facilitate partnerships, initiatives, and programs that encourage and expand opportunities for public participation in the arts. Additionally, we coordinate information and resources on behalf of local arts organizations to help keep the arts on the community agenda, and I'll talk more about that here in just a few minutes. So we work to accomplish our mission by promoting arts and culture throughout the community with marketing activities aimed at developing new audiences and patrons for the arts in Central Illinois. We champion professional development and networking opportunities to strengthen our greater arts community. So let's dive a little bit into what all of that means. It's a lot of words. Arts and culture are essential to the continued growth of Peoria and to the entire region. The arts are an essential economic driver. We often don't think about it, but they help us attract and retain talent. They give our life meaning. Think about it. When you are able to go to a concert on the weekends and you're able to sit there and just enjoy yourself, that is something that is an experience it's unlike anything else. They contribute to our emotional and physical health, and study after study has shown this. So this starts at a very basic level. Teaching art is very important. And when we think about our kids and as they're growing up, they help children develop the creative and critical thinking skills that are needed in every single profession. And that might come as a surprise. You're thinking, why would an engineer need that? But high school students in the United States who engage in the arts at school are twice as likely. Number one, this is important to your Rotarian group here, they are twice as likely to volunteer as students who do not engage with the arts. They are also 20% more likely to vote when they become young adults. The arts strengthen bonds between us, whether it be a current exhibition like The Life and Legacy of Annie Malone, which is at the Peoria Riverfront Museum right now, and that celebrates the story of one of our nation's first Black woman millionaires, to First Friday events, which I encourage you all to go to tomorrow evening. Those are studio tours, free and open to the public, that take place across the entire region. This is what makes our city vibrant. And numbers supplied by the Americans for the Arts show how the arts are part of a healthy economy. So we're going to get into some numbers here. I do want to point out that this is from a 2015 study. This time next week, I will have updated numbers, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. If it had just been 1 week later, I would have had that information for you. But I think what we'll see is that we've actually had a growth in the impact of the arts, and this is still pretty impressive, though. So in Illinois, the arts are a $4 billion industry, providing over 1,100,000 full-time jobs and nearly $150 million in revenue. In our region, Greater Peoria, is a $20.4 million industry with 850 full-time jobs and $2.2 million in local and state government revenue. It is calculated that in our region, on average, nearly $16 is spent per event in the arts. So if someone goes to an event, they're spending on average about $16. And if you have ever looked at our ArtsPartners comprehensive arts calendar, you know that there are daily opportunities to participate in these events. And we'll talk about that calendar here in just a minute, because I want you all to subscribe to it if you haven't yet. So here's some exciting news. As I noted, these numbers are from 2015. And in 2022, ArtsPartners embarked on an 11-month study in partnership with Americans for the Arts and the National Endowment for the Arts for an updated Arts and Economic Prosperity Study. We call it AEP6. It is the sixth economic study of the nation's nonprofits, arts, and cultural industry, and the largest and most inclusive study of its kind, and we were part of it here in Central Illinois. For the first time, this will establish a benchmark of arts and cultural organizations that primarily serve communities of color and audiences that attend their events. ArtsPartners worked with various nonprofits in the region to collect audience surveys from attendees at local performances, events, exhibits, and cultural events from May through December of 2022. We completed over 800 audience surveys specific to our Greater Peoria region, with 25% of the surveys being collected from events that were presented, produced, or hosted by an organization that primarily serves communities of color. The AEP6 Greater Peoria study will provide all arts nonprofits in our region with data on the economic impact of the arts. This is important because, as we all know, anyone who works in the nonprofit field, numbers are important when you're trying to apply for grants. So next week, watch our ArtsPartners social channels and subscribe to our e-blast. We are going to start releasing all of that updated data. We surveyed groups throughout the region, just to give you a quick idea of who those were, because you'll probably be familiar with some of them and maybe some of them not. Peoria Players Theater, Peoria Guild of Black Artists, Art Inc., Carver Center, Cornstalk, Heritage Ensemble, Central Illinois Ballet, Peoria Riverfront Market, the Peoria Symphony Orchestra, and many, many more. So we are really grateful to our partners who helped us collect that information. Who do we serve? So we serve nearly 200 arts and cultural entities here in Central Illinois, along with individual artists in our community. This ranges from long-standing cultural institutions like the Contemporary Arts Center of Peoria and the Peoria Symphony Orchestra to newer organizations like Project 1612 and the Peoria Guild of Black Artists. We also serve individual artists, from artists like Jeremy Berkeley, which Jason, I believe you won one of his prints that is over here, to Hannah Offit, Natalie Jackson, Jessica Bingham, names you may or may not recognize, but you can get more familiar with them as you follow us on social. The arts are, as I always say, not just a nice to have, they are a must have. ArtsPartners collaborates with WCBU Peoria Public Radio on a weekly basis, and we provide a radio show and podcast called Out and About, where I sit down and interview local arts and culture leaders and artists about upcoming events in our region, giving them a much needed platform in the current media landscape. Right now, you can go to wcbu.org or just wherever you find your podcast, and you can listen to last week's interview. That one was with Laura Cullinan about the upcoming Food and Wine Festival, and that's benefiting the Young Minds Project. Tomorrow, my episode with Maestro George Stoluto, the Peoria Symphony, will be dropping, and we'll be talking about the upcoming 126th season. And this provides you information that you couldn't find elsewhere. So again, you can either subscribe to that through like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can find it on wcbu.org. Or if you like to listen to the radio, tune in to 89.9 at 5 p.m. every single Friday. So ArtsPartners is always looking for new ways to serve our community. This summer, we teamed up with CityLink Peoria and the Peoria Guild of Black Artists in the creation and unveiling on Juneteenth of a bus wrap. And this celebrates Black culture in Peoria. With the resources we have, we are able to help area organizations and businesses connect with artists. The end result in this case was a breathtaking mobile piece of artwork created by local artist Brenda Pagan. So now when you see CityLink buses going around Peoria, pay attention, because I've only seen it in the wild, I'll call it, where I'm just traveling around. I've only actually managed to see it twice, but each time I do, I'm like, oh my goodness. And it's so cool. It's just such a neat thing to see this artwork going throughout the Peoria region and celebrating. You can't quite see it here. We've got some photos online, but what it is it celebrates our Illinois River, and then people just sitting alongside the river with the cityscape in the background. And Brenda said that to her, when she thought about Juneteenth, to her, the idea of freedom meant the ability to rest. So you see folks resting and just having time with their family along the Illinois River. It's really incredible. We are also teaming up, of course, with local initiatives like Choose Greater Peoria, because they understand that the arts and culture, as I have said, and I will say again, are a key part of attracting and retaining talent. So here's the part where if you want to, you can pull out your cell phones and you can scan this QR code, but we have the region's most comprehensive arts calendar. And recently we have expanded our e-blast, which is called What's Playing, to include an entire week of events. So we used to cover just the weekend, but now we cover every single day of the week. And this is sent to thousands of residents in the area locally. If you happen to have an arts event or cultural event that's coming up, you can submit that on our website at artspartners.net. It gets added to our calendar, and then we add it to our e-blast as well. This is offered, by the way, at no cost to local artists and arts organizations or cultural organizations. From radio, web to print, we are dedicated to sharing the many arts and cultural events that are taking place not just in Peoria, but throughout the entire Tri-County region. So what does this mean? We have an extensive reach into the community through radio and e-marketing, over 20,000 per week, monthly 37,000 plus when we include print and social, and then our annual reach on the website is over 30,000. And we promote over 2,300 cultural events each year. With our changing media landscape, this is a much needed resource for artists and organizations who struggle to get the word out about all of the incredible things they are doing, from K-12 initiatives happening at Peoria Public Library or the Contemporary Arts Center having their Live at the 5 spot events every Friday evening. One of the programs, and hopefully, how many of you have seen the billboards throughout Peoria? Have you seen these art billboards? If not, then you can start looking for them. One of the programs that puts our local talent on blast is Sky Art Peoria. These are 48 by 14-foot billboards that soar over our local skyline, all highlighting local artists. These billboards garner millions of views each month by commuters, visitors, tourists, and pedestrians. Winning artists gain a value of over $37,000 in free advertising. This is a program that I have to admit, a deep connection to. It was mentioned that I was on the ArtsPartners board, and when I was on the board, someone approached the executive director at the time, Suzette Boulay, and said, "Hey, we want to start this program." It was called Art Pop at the time, and I think it was my first board meeting. And Suzette looked around the room, and this was my first board I'd ever been on. So I didn't know that when someone looks for volunteers, you're supposed to put your head down and not look up because you're going to get called out. And so she was like, "Does anyone want to chair this program?" And I just sat there, and everyone else put their head down, and I didn't. And then she said, "Mae, why don't you do it?" And I was like, okay. So anyway, here we are many years later. So this program started in 2015. I am proud to say that we not only highlight local professional artists, which is very important, but this year, 2 of the 6 billboards were created from local Peoria High School artists, and it meant so much to them. It was incredible to see their reaction to it. All artists selected by a jury of local residents, from arts professionals to business leaders as well, and community leaders. It has been wildly successful and has made measurable impacts on artists who have participated, helping them step up into their role as professional artists. So speaking of which, because we have talked about the arts as an economic driver, I'm going to check my time here. We believe it is important for our artists to be equipped with the skills needed to be successful. The Business of Art is a one-day event designed to connect entrepreneurial artists with business professionals that can help them navigate the world of business. Through seminars and networking, the Business of Art assists artists of all disciplines with enhancing their businesses, and that will take place the second Saturday of February in 2024 if you know anyone who wants to get into turning what they love to do as part of what they do for a living. Our largest public event of the year happens this past August. It's Ignite Peoria, and we had nearly 5,000 people in attendance. Ignite Peoria is the premier arts and makers fest in Central Illinois, showcasing hundreds of local makers, musicians, artists, innovators, actors, as well this year as the return of the All or Nothing Custom Car and Bike Show. The best part, it is free to participate and it is free to attend, with free parking at the Civic Center, which, as we all know, does not happen very often. Be sure to get on your calendar for next year so you don't miss it. It is perfect for the whole family. It is a STEAM-inspired interactive day, so science, technology, engineering, arts, and what is the M? Math. Thank you. Yes. We are the proud home of the Midwest Makers Fest, Fashion Ignite, and Sensory Ignite, which has activities in a controlled and quiet environment. This one-of-a-kind festival boasts over 65 hands-on creation station booths. I actually think it was closer to 100 this year, where attendees can learn about singing, writing, dancing, building, acting, painting, drawing, coding, 3D printing, robotics, and so much more. Additionally, the event showcases theater, dance, spoken word, literary arts, includes 2 live performance stages, and we even have the Robot Olympics. I mean, there is something for everyone. Rather than tell you about it, I'm going to show you a quick video, hopefully. You'll get a chance to see. That's the Robot Olympics right there. highlights. Let's see here. There we go. It was such a fun day, and if you didn't get a chance to go this year, definitely get it on your calendars for next year. As noted, we have 2 performance stages, the main stage where you can see groups like the Peoria Ballet, My Tilly Dance Academy, and our launch pad, which for the first time this year, we actually made that an open mic stage. Over 20 performers showed up and kept us entertained all day long. They just showed up and said, yeah, we would love just to have a chance to perform in front of everyone. And they got a chance to do that in front of nearly 5,000 people. We also have Fashion Ignite, which showcases local designers and models. It is a reminder that Greater Peoria has so many interesting and talented people. We are excited to expand Fashion Ignite next year. We didn't have a proper runway this year, but we are going to be adding it next year. The Midwest Makers Fest is really amazing. From coding workshops to robot Olympics, drone courses, 3D printing, and more, we know that art and creativity are a key part of science, technology, engineering, and math because they help develop those critical and creative thinking skills. So speaking of art, kids get to try out new artistic skills. Let's see here. I think I went back. Can I go back one? Thank you. Speaking of art, kids of art, all ages get to try out new artistic skills from painting to printmaking to stations called instrument petting zoos where they can find out what it's like to play a violin or an electric guitar. I had the booth of the electric guitar next to mine this year. We're going to move it further away from my booth next year, but I'm so glad for the kids who got to try an electric guitar for the first time. Good for them. Good for them. So as I mentioned, we had the custom car and bike show for the first time since 2015. And the theme was vehicles as art. If you think about, you don't often think about what is art, but art can mean so many different things. And they really are pieces of art. In fact, we had an award for the most artistic vehicle this year. It was so much fun to have them back, and we can't wait to have them back next year. Finally, Sensory Ignite. I mentioned earlier, it offers activities in a controlled and quiet environment and a resource fair for families to gather information from service organizations throughout our region. We even have a quiet room for anyone who might want to take a break from the noise from the festival as well. So I'm happy to say that we, for the first time, were at total capacity at the Civic Center. We had no more space for anyone. It is a testament to the growth and strength of the local arts and culture scene. When we asked for feedback, we got the most amazing responses. You know, what did they like about the festival? Watching my kiddo try a violin and fall in love. I just got here and the Broadway music had me dancing right away. Seeing the young being allowed to touch and even try. So many times they are told no. It's a great and safe place to try. Looking at all Peoria has to offer with regards to the arts, the car show, and all the diversity from different countries and cultures. The magicians, I love, this is fun. The magicians being so patient with my daughter as she showed them her first magic trick that she taught herself and then teaching her a new one. We are so grateful to the Peoria Civic Center for their continued in-kind support of the program, as well as all of our sponsors and the Community Foundation for the grant. Thank you, Community Foundation. So I'm going to be wrapping up here, but I wanted to let you know that ArtsPartners is more than just this region. We're part of what is called the Local Arts Network. We serve as the direct hub between all of the national and state arts organizations to the region. Earlier this year, we hosted a group from the Illinois Arts Council Agency, including their executive director and board chair. We met with Mayor Ali, we showcased local art, and we hosted a town hall listening session, which was attended by around 100 area artists and arts organizations. These connections are key to bringing in extra dollars and support to the region. This year, I spoke on a panel on behalf of ArtsPartners at the One State Arts Conference in Springfield, Illinois, about a project that we participated in with the University of Illinois Extension that generated a map of the cultural and creative assets here in the region to help propel, evidence-based opportunities to strengthen community vitality. While there, along with myself, representatives of ArtsPartners and the Peoria arts scene were able to connect with statewide groups. I met with local representatives to lobby successfully for an increase in the state budget for dollars allocated to the arts. And we also acted as a Tier 1 hub with Arts Alliance Illinois, with the state of Illinois' Back to Business Creative Arts Recovery Grant, a program meant to help industries hit hardest by the COVID shutdowns. I'm happy to say that those award dollars were announced this past week, and most of our area arts organizations did receive them. Very much needed. So during the process of expanding our state and national connections, I was able to discuss and secure funds for a new granting program in Central Illinois called Arts Dollars. When ArtsPartners was first formed, one of the main objectives was to re-grant dollars to Central Illinois artists. We are now bringing that vision to life. This is now in our first year. We've been awarded $10,000 from the Illinois Arts Council Agency. These dollars would not otherwise come to Central Illinois, which is important, and they are going to be awarded to arts organizations, artists, and pre-K through 12 arts education programs. So this is, sorry that got cut off, but if you go to artspartners.net/artsdollars, that, again, encourage any creatives you know. This application is due Sunday at midnight, but they still have a few days to apply, and it's a really easy application. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So I just want to note here quickly that I would love for you all to join us on November 15th from 5 to 7:30 p.m. for our annual meeting. If you are interested, subscribe to our What's Playing e-blast, and we'll have an RSVP form going out in the next week or two for this. But go on and get it on your calendar. There's no cost to attend, but you get a chance to hear about our Arts Partner of the Year award winner. You'll get to hear about the people who receive the grants from Art Dollars, some of the programs that updates that we have as well. And it's a fun time and just a nice night to just get together and celebrate all that we do in the community. It's kind of hard to read here. I had to fit everything on there quickly, but we couldn't do our work without the financial support of the city, our donors, and those who provide us with grants. We are a small but mighty team on staff. I am the only full-time employee, which makes my life interesting. But we also have 2 part-time employees, our community engagement coordinator and our bookkeeper. And I'm also so grateful to our board. They put forth countless hours volunteering and working with all of our program committee volunteers as well. All right, so I'm 1 minute over. But thank you for listening. I know many of you are involved already in the arts and culture here in Peoria, so thank you, because I see you and I notice that, and I really appreciate it. If you would like more information, you can visit artspartners.net. You can follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, and we're on LinkedIn. We're kind of on Threads. We're not quite on TikTok yet, but we're going to get there. And as I said, please do sign up for that e-blast because it will get you a ton of information if you haven't already. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to see you out in the community. Should I open it up for questions? Yeah? Okay. Uh-oh, I'm afraid of this question.
Is that working?
Yep. Okay.
Since it's tomorrow night, just briefly, First Fridays.
Yes.
And the places that are participating.
So it changes from month to month. That's why it's good to pay attention, not to plug our arts calendar, but it's good to pay attention to it. But First Fridays is an opportunity for you to go out into artist studios. You can see artists, get to know them, and importantly, if you're able to, purchase their artwork. One of my favorite things about First Fridays is that I usually come home with something new that really just enhances our home and makes it feel so special. Almost every piece of artwork on our main floor, I realized a couple months ago, has been created by a woman artist here in Peoria. And people come over, they're like, oh, this is so cool. I'm like, yeah, you can have this too. Just go out there. So the studios who participate, as I said, it does depend on a month-to-month basis, but generally, of course, the Peoria Art Guild is open, and they'll have rotating exhibits, so you get to see new artwork. You've got places like the Contemporary Art Center of Peoria, North Art Studios, which is at St. Paul's Episcopalian Church over on War Memorial. And that they're kind of new to the First Friday scene. The studios in Sheridan, they had taken a hiatus from their First Fridays, but I believe they're back this month and they're doing quarterly exhibits. And then you have unusual places you might not expect. Casa de Arte, how many of you have been there before? Okay, if you've not, it's in the Warehouse District. It's a great Mexican restaurant. The owner is an artist himself. And it's a restaurant, but they have rotating artwork and they celebrate First Fridays there as well. So one of my favorite things to do on a First Friday, which I will admit tomorrow I will be at a cabin with no access to Wi-Fi or anything else. I'm taking some time off, I hope. I always say, knock on wood, hopefully I actually get to go. But if I were to go tomorrow, I would stop by the Art Guild, Contemporary Art Center, run by the North Art Studios, start early, start at 5 because, that's when most places open. And then end your evening at Casa de Arte. They have the largest tequila bar in Peoria. So it's a nice place to end the evening and you get to see some art as well. So great question, Kim. Thank you.
So thank you for being with us today. I've been asked, my wife and I have been asked to host First Friday downtown at First United Methodist Church in our art gallery upstairs.
Yep, Foster Gallery.
Foster Gallery.
Yep.
Okay, so you're all welcome there. Hope to see you.
Yep, Foster Gallery is another one of the many places. Last month, we actually had our Sky Art artist featured there. This month, I believe it's Bill Conger from the museum, and I forget the other gentleman's name, but that's opening tomorrow night. Yep. So, all right. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it.